2023 VinFast VF8 City Edition First Drive Review. Well, it took me 37 years, 72 days, 9 hours, and 30 minutes, but it finally happened. I got carsick for the very first time. I'd been driving the VinFast VF8 for less than an hour when my inner ear sounded the alarm and politely, urgently, requested I stop to get some fresh air. On the shoulder of a scenic road in San Diego County, I paced around the VF8 wondering what the hell was going on. But I wasn't the only one in a state of confusion and nausea. My passenger wasn't feeling so hot, either. Composure regained, we hit the road again, this time with me riding shotgun, and we only made it a couple of miles before the uneasy feeling returned. The road wasn't super curvy and we'd been cruising along at a moderate pace, but the sheer amount of bouncy body motions coming through the VF8 suspension made being in this electric crossover, and I say this without hyperbole, unbearable. That alone would have been enough to tarnish my opinion of this debut product from Vietnam's ambitious automotive startup. But things only got worse from there. Let me be clear, the VinFast VF8 is not a concept or pre-production vehicle. The company has already started customer deliveries of its first electric SUV, with 14 retail locations currently up and running in California and another 14 expected to open in the Golden State before the end of the year. That means the car I drove is 100% representative of the final product being sold to consumers. Keep that in mind. Right now, you can only get the VF8 City Edition, which has an 82.0 kilowatt-hour battery pack and 2 electric motors. Credit where credit's due, the VF8's onboard power doesn't draw any ire. The base City Edition Eco offers a not insubstantial 349 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, while the Plus, what I drove, has 402 horsepower and 457 lb-ft. Even at a porky 5,732 pounds, the Plus accelerates briskly. VinFast estimates it'll hit 62 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds. Mid-range punch is fine, too. But that's where the good stuff ends. The VF8's official EPA range numbers are bad, 207 miles for the Eco and 191 miles for the Plus. That puts the VF8 behind just about every other electric crossover on sale today. The VF8 can accept DC fast charging speeds of up to 160 kilowatts, which is good but not great. VinFast says the upcoming VF8 Standard Edition, which is on its way to the US as you read this, should improve those range estimates to 264 miles for the Eco and 243 miles for the Plus thanks to more energy-dense battery chemistry. Famed Italian design house Pininfarina is responsible for the VF8's styling, and in person, this SUV looks pretty good. The VF8 has just the right amount of weirdness baked into its design and the paint colors are really quite rich and beautiful. The City Edition plus 20-inch wheels look sharp, too. But then you get inside and things fall apart. Not literally, though I did almost break one of the seat adjustment toggles, and the center console lid on one of the display cars was halfway popped off. The entire door panel flexes when you pull the handle from inside, and the seats are as stiff as they are flat. Headroom and legroom are decent overall, but there are hella cheap materials and inconsistent panel gaps everywhere. It's like early 2000s General Motors in here. The majority of the VF8's controls are housed in the 15.6-inch central touchscreen, which is Tesla-level lousy as far as user experience is concerned. To adjust the mirrors and steering column, you have to use a combination of a menu on the touchscreen and the physical volume/track controls on the steering wheel. At least the wipers are managed through a traditional stalk that's ripped from a late-model BMW, oddly. The infotainment system's menu structure is a mess, with some icons clearly labeled and others discoverable only through the OL guess and check method. Many inputs end up requiring repeated taps, and you need to be sure to hit the exact middle of each icon or the system won't budge. Response times are slow, swipes are laggy, and God help you if you need to rely on the natural language voice functionality. Hey, VinFast, what's the weather like in San Diego? Easy question, right? The car even displayed my exact words on the screen, meaning it definitely heard me, but then told me it couldn't understand my request. This happened again and again. Hey, VinFast roll down the passenger window worked, miraculously, but only after a delay of 20 seconds, which is an absolute eternity in tech time. Happily, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard. Other problems? The backup camera refresh rate is abysmal and the feed is super low res. The head-up display washes out if you're wearing polarized sunglasses, so you have to look over at the center screen to see your speedometer. The 1-tap/3 blink turn signal function didn't always work, but only while turning left. The climate control has a digital temperature gauge, but in practice, it only has 2 settings, freezing or surface of the sun. The electronic gear buttons look ridiculous and take up as much space as a traditional PRNDL shifter. The list goes on.
Thanks for watching. Drop a like. Leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.